Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy, and in this video I am going to be talking all about how our perception of time is changing. And I decided literally to just turn this camera on because I'm sitting here and I'm receiving all these downloads. I had already planned to do a video on this topic because Spirit's been giving me information about this over the last few months, and I've been kind of like jotting things down. When I receive information, like channeled information, I always write it down in notebooks that I keep. And so I have all these like notes, but I felt really called to just turn the camera on right at this moment because there's more things coming through to kind of expand on these notes. And I wanted to share that with you right now. So let me think about where to start. I literally don't have any notes. I normally, when I do a longer video, I have notes, and I'm trying to be more in the flow because I think my presentation might be better if I'm just kind of in the moment and not trying to follow my notes. So let's see how this goes. So we have truly shifted into a new timeline as a species. Humanity has shifted into a new timeline, and our physical selves have not quite grasped this yet. So it doesn't feel like we're on a new timeline. Spirit is assuring me that we are. And it's going to be more evident as this year unfolds. So this is January 2026. And as the year unfolds, you're going to really notice and feel the changes. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share. And this kind of period that we're in right now, in the beginning of beginning of 2026, we're still in this sort of recalibration, adjusting mode where we're still kind of letting go of the old timeline, which ended in 2025. And really, since like mid-December, we've been in this period where we're like letting the old energies still kind of dissipate a bit. And we're readjusting to what's changed for us energetically, like our energy body and like our light body, our DNA, all of that is still kind of adjusting to this new timeline that has come on. And like old timelines have closed and are dissolving. So this thing that was coming through that made me want to turn the camera on is kind of this visual that I was given about how I hope I can articulate this, how the possibilities that used to lay before us have sort of dissolved. So that sounds kind of weird and kind of scary, but it's actually a positive thing. In the old paradigm, the old timeline that we were in, there were all these possibilities that were laid out before us. And that's the way we've always kind of created. Like we created all of these different timelines. And as we changed as individuals, we would align with a different timeline. And that's kind of how it went. But the rate of acceleration of human awakening, spiritual awakening, the rate at which that is happening on our planet right now is happening at such a fast rate that it's causing all of those old possibilities, is what they really are. The old possibilities, the ones that were created by a thinking and a way of creating, because we're always creating, right? We're always manifesting our reality based on where we are in the current moment. So all these future timelines were created from an old, denser energy. And as more people have been awakening, they're at a higher vibration so that those old timelines just don't fit. We're not in alignment with them. And we're not feeding those timelines any energy any longer. So they are literally dissolving. So things that could have transpired in what we experience as the future are no longer even possible anymore, which is a good thing because they were created from a denser energy, from a lower timeline, if you will. So let's see, how do I want to say this next part? Now we have so many more different possibilities that lay ahead of us that we can't even say that those realities or those possibilities have been created yet. Creation is happening in a very, very different way now. I'm having trouble articulating it. It's like it's not solid. It's more fluid. It's more crystalline. It's more airy, I want to say. Like, it's just not as dense. And as more people are waking up and their vibration is elevating, it's opening up so many more possibilities. And there's this new possibility of people coming together that are on these higher vibrations to like collaborate and create, like for real, create new things. So something that Spirit was showing me was like the pace at which we're able to see ahead feels like it's slowed down. So we used to be able to see like 5 to 10 steps, just say, into the future, like individually. And you would be able to kind of plan out your future or kind of visualize where you might want to go with something, with your life, for example. But very recently, we've come into this space, and those of us who are awakened are experiencing this. So tell me if you are experiencing this, because I am, where if I try to sit and think about the future and kind of what I envision for myself, or even as looking at the collective, I feel like I just can't really grasp onto what it could look like. Like I can't even, and I'm a very visual person, and it's usually easy for me to do that, but I'm having a harder time doing that. Like I feel like I can't really get a feel for where I'm going and where we are going collectively. And Spirit is saying it is because so many people have awakened, and that we've elevated to a new timeline. And in this timeline, we experience the present moment more fully. So we're actually not really able to get our minds to be in the future or to look at the future or even the past as much. We're more in the present moment. And this feels very different for most of us. Most of us are constantly thinking steps ahead, whether it's just steps ahead in your day or the weeks or however far out. I mean, most of us are always, what if, and we're thinking all the way into the future. And we're actually not in this new timeline really even able to do that. And it's really a positive thing, because when you're in the present moment, you can connect with your higher self and the divine creative potential that we have. It's all in the present moment. And it's so powerful. And when we stay in the present moment, it feels like we're not moving forward, like almost like we're stuck. But Spirit is saying this is something we just have to get used to. We're getting used to what it feels like to just be in the present moment. And it makes it feel like time slows down. Because before, when you could think steps ahead, it had this component of like speed with it. You could almost like feel into like future energy, and it just makes the time feel like it's moving faster. I hope this is making sense. Like I can feel this, and I'm experiencing this right now, where every day just feels like I just want to focus on what's right in front of me. And I don't even like really think too much about the future. But at the same time, it's like this paradox where I'm excited for the future, believe it or not, despite everything going on. And it's really because of everything that's going on in the world at this time where there's just so much seemingly, chaotic, destructive forces at play and things going on. And you could worry about the future, but it's like being so present in the present moment, like right now, right here in this very moment, I'm okay and I'm safe. And I'm just comfortable focusing on what's right in front of me and not thinking too far into the future. And Spirit's saying it's something about, there's so many new, like high vibrational possibilities available for us in this, like we're creating this new timeline, like the future timeline. We're actually creating it right now. And it's not solid enough for us to get our minds to grasp onto. I hope that makes sense. Like before, we had these timelines that were created from old energies, and they were pretty, I don't want to say solid, because they weren't like in physical form. I don't mean it in that way, but they were existing in their own kind of form in the future. They were there, as very real possibilities, and they've dissolved now. And these new timelines that we're creating are so different, and they're so just energetic, and they're just potentials more than anything right now. So we can't really see them. We can't really grasp onto them. They don't have any kind of solidity to them. And this is a good thing, Spirit is saying, because we're all collectively coming together to create this new timeline. And because we are at a higher vibration, those of us who have awakened are at a higher vibration. What we're creating is of such a substance that is of itself a higher vibration that we can't almost imagine it. It's so different from what we are currently experiencing in reality. So the 3D world that is around us, that we've already created, we're so used to using the past to help us figure out what we want to create in the future. And we are now in this opportunity to really think outside of the box and create in really, really innovative ways. So you probably know we have entered the age of Aquarius, and we've been in that for a while now, but that was just kind of in the background. And, things always happen on an energetic level, at an astrological level, all of that, before we start experiencing it on a physical level. And the earth has been shifting in this way before us. So humanity is always sort of like the last, because we're so dense in more ways than one. And we're like the last to kind of get on board with this energy change, with this shift in vibration. And so this is why I need notes, because I do like get on tangents and I lose my train of thought. So let's see. Geez, I did forget what I was talking about. So we are creating, see, this is what I mean. I have a hard time like even thinking and even articulating what the future can be like, because we haven't even fathomed what we can create. And more of us are awakening to the realization that we don't have to create in the way that we've created before. So we're coming together to create the new earth, those of us who are awakened. And it is going to look so different from anything that we've created before that we almost can't even visualize it yet. And that's okay. Because right now, what we need to do is just integrate all these changes that we've been experiencing and give ourselves time to embody the higher frequency, the the upgrades that we've gone through in the most recent awakenings that we've experienced, and give ourselves grace, because it takes time for the body to catch up. All these things happen on the energetic planes before they happen in our physical realization and our physical reality. And so we're still kind of in this in-between space, and it's okay. But I just wanted to share about how Spirit is kind of just giving us a heads up that you're right to think that things are different and things feel off if you feel like you're kind of in this stuck space and I don't know what the future holds and I can't even really visualize what I want for my life, or, are we going to make it out of this time period that we're in? And, humanity's not going to destroy themselves. Spirit is saying, do not get into thoughts like that, like of fear. It's normal to slip back into that, but just catch yourself, because we are still, even though we've awakened and we are shifting into 5D consciousness, we are not fully in that yet. And those of us who are these like pioneers of the new earth, we're aware that we're awakened and that we are energetically shifting and becoming like a new version of ourselves, a more elevated version of ourselves, embodying more of our soul essence, our multidimensionality, all of that. We know that we are part of the group of people who are creating the foundation for the new earth, for a very different way of being. And it might be something that doesn't happen, in our physical reality for a long time, but we know that we are creating that now energetically. We're creating the energetic structure now, those of us who are here at this point. And Spirit just wants us to kind of get used to how this feels. And it's normal to be feeling a little bit lost right now. And that's okay. We're going to be receiving more and more like instruction on where to go and what to do individually and how to come together collectively on different endeavors that are going to help create the changes that are going to eventually lead to what is the foundation for the new earth. And I mean, like, leadership is going to be changing big time. I mean, that's one of the biggest changes that we are going to need to do as humanity, is to completely change the way our structures, our organizations are run, are formed, are led. And I'm going to do a whole video about that on the new leadership for the new earth. And it starts now. And what's happening now in the world is the old is dissolving. That's why things are in such chaos right now, is because the 3D is dissolving. And it seems like it's really terrible, but we have to have a higher perspective on what's going on. And the old has to go away before the new happens, but they happen at the same time. It's like, I've said this before, it's a dissolving of the 3D and a rising of the 5D, but they're happening at the same time. It's not like this cutoff point where the 3D goes away and the 5D just pops up. They're happening simultaneously. So we have to focus on the creation that we want to see, what we want to create. And so we're going to be coming together collaboratively. Communities, like small communities of people, are going to be what make a difference in change in this world. It's like we're done with relying on the powers that be to create change, because it's the old paradigm isn't working. And it's that way of being isn't going to create anything good for the future. And, that's just what Spirit wanted to talk about in this video today. Just this future timeline situation is being created right now. And it's kind of like our experience of it, our perception of it. It's like they showed me this visual of a person like running down a hallway. So you feel like you're moving towards the future. But have you ever seen in movies where the character is running down the hallway and then all of a sudden it's like they're running in place and the hallway keeps getting longer and longer and they're running, but they're not getting anywhere? It's like that. And because the future possibilities keep expanding and growing in like really beautiful, like miraculous ways, that like future timeline is getting longer and longer and wider. And we're feeling like we're like stuck in this like present moment, but it's a good thing. It's like we're in the present moment, and Spirit wants us to be in that higher vibrational space, because that's creating what's going out before us, and we want it to be high vibrational because that is going to be what we're creating from. I hope that makes sense. So don't feel like you're stuck. Don't feel like you're lost. We are just creating a brand new timeline, and it just feels kind of like it's not there because it really isn't. It's not like the old timelines where you could kind of grasp your mind or your consciousness onto those and sort of feel it out. Like those of us who could really feel energy, you could feel into future timelines a good bit and get a good sense of like, okay, this is how, things are going to be unfolding the next few years. And you can sort of like make plans around that. And we really cannot do that right now. And that's because those old timelines that we used to tap into, they're collapsed. And the new timeline now is actually in the midst of being created in the present moment that all of us who are spiritually awakened are creating. So I think I'm going to leave the message here today with that. And I'm sure this is something that Spirit's going to want to be talking about more and more as the year goes on. I'm going to be doing a video probably in a couple of weeks. I think I'm going to wait a little bit, but talking about the year of the horse in the Chinese zodiac, because that does describe the energy for this year. And I got some more information about that just a couple of days ago to sort of expand my understanding of the energy of this year. And it does sort of tie in with this message too. So maybe I'll post that one maybe next week. Anyway, stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for being here. And I would love to know your thoughts on this. Are you experiencing this sort of like void space where you just don't really know who you are and where you're going? I would love to know. I would love to hear. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.